What's going on, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey, coming to you with another video. Now, I know it's not Thursday or Wednesday, and which means this is not about Queen Sugar. I had said that I wasn't going to get involved with any other shows just because, y'all, I am really just now learning the ropes about all of this stuff. YouTube, editing, shortening my conversation. Like, I'm just now learning all of that, and I'm not the best at any of it. But anyway, I watch a ton of YouTube videos, and one of the people that I subscribe to and I follow is Beautiful Soul Speaks. And if you guys don't follow her here on YouTube, please go out, subscribe, follow her. She's a mature woman, and she's got a really interesting perspective on a lot of shows that I watch. I don't review, but I watch. She's got a really interesting perspective on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Sometimes I'll come away from that show and I'm just like, ugh, whatever. And she just has a really unique way of looking at things and giving it a different perspective where you're like, okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I get where you're coming from. So anyway, she's really into Iyanla Van Zant, Fix My Life. This season, is about, this first part of the season, I guess, is about the myth of the angry black woman. And we are in the second episode. So I just finished watching the second episode. And earlier today, I watched the first episode. And I'm not new to this because many years ago, I used to get up at 5 in the morning to watch Iyanla's first show. I think it was her first show, which was Starting Over. And Tawanda Braxton was on it, and just a host of other people that you may or may not know. I don't know. But the show would come on in the middle of the day, but the reruns would play at 5 in the morning. So I would always watch it early in the morning, and the show just resonated with me. So now watching this new show, and I haven't watched any of her previous shows at all. I mean, none of the other Iyanla Fix My Life have I watched them, and so this is the first one I've watched, and it's the first show I think that I can relate to. So anyway, Beautiful Soul Speaks, you know, through all of her efforts, has tried to get this live streaming chat, and I think she was successful on Facebook Live, but I don't really know a lot about Facebook Live. And at the time that I was listening to it on YouTube and commenting and stuff, I didn't realize that, she had no idea I was on or anyone else was on, and she was only on Facebook Live, and it was just this big thing. But anyway, I got to hear a lot of her commentary, so I can appreciate that. I just couldn't participate. So hopefully next Sunday, I think she's going to try to do it at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know. And so hopefully I'll get a chance to log on, participate, and enter the discussion. I would love to enter the discussion with her. I noticed on the last few minutes of her Facebook Live discussion, Much Love from Kentucky came on. Y'all, I love Much Love, and she was at the Blackout. Oh, I love Much Love. Oh, that's a cussing woman, but she is smart and she is funny. And she is so down to earth, and I love her relationship with her family, you know, how she interacts with her family. So y'all check out Much Love from Kentucky too. A couple of posts ago, she was talking to her husband. They're both on like this little diet, and her husband just kind of like lost it. You know, so it was so funny to see a man kind of come unglued, you know, about, you know, just because it, you know, he's dieting, so his emotions are like, you know, right on top. Anyway, Much Love is great, so you guys check her out too if you get a chance. Like, I really obviously thought that was funny because that cracked me up. But you got to hear his rant. And it's a her post is like, I just want to rant, I just want to vent. And at some point he just comes in to chill out in the room that she's in, and he just kind of loses it over the smallest little thing. Like, he just loses it. But he's hungry and he's frustrated. But it was just good to see a man. Anyway, I digress. Um okay, so Iyanla Van Zant Fix My Life House of Healing, and this is um you know, breaking the myth of the angry black woman. And honestly, if it wasn't for Beautiful Soul Speaks, I probably would never be watching this program because um, I don't have regular TV. I usually catch everything on YouTube or on the internet the next day. And something she said to me reminded me of the emotions that I had and the feelings that I had while watching Starting Over. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to check this out. So, thank you, Grapes. So, anyway, um, so I watched the first episode, which was just introduction to all the ladies. And on the first day, there was this, you know, confrontation about the ladies had to be up early the next morning, 7:30 a.m. And, you know, they at least one person I know of, I guess, started drinking and just having a good time, just chilling out, just relaxing. I'm sure they all had like a certain amount of anxiety. They had like a really quick meeting where they met Iyanla and talked briefly about why they were there and all of that. And so, you know, I'm sure it was sort of like a de-stressor, I guess. And a couple of people started drinking. Well, this one person, Gloria, I think is her name, was upset. You know, she felt like, okay, well, I have to go to, you know, to do this thing in the morning. You guys need to quiet down and go to bed. Now, you know, I have this theory. It's never about and you guys have seen my Queen Sugar video. So, you know, again, it's never about the caterer. It's never about going to bed. You know what I mean? Like when people speak out of anger, there's usually some auxiliary thing behind that. And I think there was this need to sort of control everybody and make everybody go to bed with her. Um, you know, so, you know, not that she was in the wrong or whatever, but I think she was a catalyst. If she had never come out of her room, the argument never would have happened. And just like men tend to mark their territory, women have a tendency, to me, to mark their territory too, to say, you know, this is the boundary, this is, you know, who I am. Let me just go ahead and check all y'all mofos and let y'all know that you know, I don't play. I mean, you know, okay, so I thought it was a really, really good episode, that first episode. You know, Iyanla eventually got Gloria and Alana, I think was the other girl that had the discourse. She got them both together and, you know, just talked to them. And Alana really appeared to get the process, and she was very quick to become amicable to Gloria. Gloria had some issues where she just didn't really want to release the anger and all of that. And Iyanla had to just let her know. And then so this comes out that she feels like she's always defending others as a lawyer and probably in her own personal life, and no one's defending her. Now, keep in mind, too, she's got some other residual issues that are huge. The fact that she's lost, I think, her mom, her dad, her sister, her brother, at least four people back to back to back to back to back. And, you know, all of this plays a role. Um, anyway, so what I decided to do as I review this series is I don't want to review this series like, okay, this person and this issue and this thing that happened. I want to become a part of the discussion because for me, I think it's important to resolve my own issues in the process or try to begin to resolve my own issues in the process. And so I try to do the steps along with the participants. So when they all came together and says, hey, why are you here? Why am I watching? I'm watching because I want to learn a little bit more about me because it's true. I'm not my sister's keeper. I am my sister. And so we all are kind of alike and the same and different in a whole lot of like in different ways. Same in different ways, I mean, I don't know, it's weird to say, but I'm just hoping to learn a lot about myself in the process. um, I'm a 46-year-old female. I just turned 46 on September 1st. I've never been married. I don't have any children, and I kind of always just did my own thing, danced to my the beat of my own drum. Having said that, I'm a big loner. I'm a bit of a recluse. I mean, I isolate a lot. Um, so, you know, going through that process and talking with other women in my circle, outside of my circle, I tend to learn a lot about myself. And one of the things that I've learned is that I tend to be alone even when I'm in a room full of people. I'm usually the life of the party. I'm pretty fun. I love to dance. I have a really funny way of looking at things if you can't tell already. And but even with that, it's always about others. It's never really about me. And if it's about me, it's very topical, it's very, it's surface, it's very general. So I recognize that about myself. So um, the person I think I relate to the most in the house is probably Gloria. Because although I'm not a lawyer, I'm a fixer. I tend to focus on other people's issues and other people's things, and I very rarely ever dwell on my own. I don't have a lot of trust with other people about my feelings because I don't think that they understand me or can relate. And I guess that's kind of narcissistic to think that I'm the only one that goes through what I'm going through or deal with what I'm dealing with. But, you know, that's just how I've handled things. So we see in episode 2 where, um, you know, Iyanla sort of handpicks a label for each person based on some things that they had written down about themselves and sort of this cathartic writing that they had to do before they came to the house. And so they all put on labels. And I guess for me, if I put on a label, I would put on I am alone because I am a lot. Like a good 95% of my day, I'm with myself. And I amuse myself. I think I'm pretty funny. Um, and, I have small windows where I deal with people. I usually am a social butterfly. I go out on weekends and stuff. But for the same but it's true. I'm still kind of always by myself, even when I'm in a room full of people. I've just learned how to not include myself in uh conversation. Like, there are rare instances where I will, testify or talk to people about something I've gone through if I feel like it's going to help them. But for the most part, I usually don't discuss me. I mean, people's number one topic that they love to talk about is themselves. So it's not really hard for me to hide, my feelings, because people love to talk about themselves. They rarely ever notice that you don't talk about yourself. There's a few people out there who, poke around, and that's the thing that gets me angry. I get angry when people try to let themselves in without my permission, when they try to include themselves in my life without my permission. Wow. Y'all, that just happened. Talking to y'all, I just came up on that. I think it makes me mad. Pisses me off when people try to include themselves in my life, in my private thoughts and opinions without my permission. I would rather just tell you something. If you poke around in there, it makes me mad, and I do come across, I think, as angry, consequently. So anyway, y'all, so, then they do this tug of war thing, which was really like huge because, one side, which was Atlanta, and a couple of, it's like 4 and 4, I think. By this time, Lyra Galore is there. And I think her last name is Mercer, actually. I don't know where Galore came from. Maybe it's an adjective from Pussy Galore, which is from James Bond, I'm sure. Um, Anyway, Lyra's there now. She's come in, and she's the youngest, I think, that's in the house, and she's been included in, and so she's now part of this tug of war. And her label says, I am abandoned. Of course, she feels like Rick Ross left her, and they haven't really pulled all that out yet. That's still to come in the next few episodes, and I think it's going to be 6 altogether. Y'all, this hair, these little flyaways, I cannot. Anyway, so there's that. Um, Later on, the ladies learn that, they're gonna have company. They don't know what company. Well, prior to all of this happening, the tug of war and the labeling and all of that, the ladies are upstairs and they're getting ready and all. They're all in Gloria's room, except for the outcast, which is Alana, because they've all deemed that she's evil. And really, I can kind of relate to Alana a little bit too, because I feel like if you never include yourself, if you never participate, you never have to be disappointed. Like um, and I can understand that to a certain degree. To another degree, I think Alana's a bit of an antagonist, and I don't want to get into pointing any fingers about the ladies. I want it to be positive, and I want it to be cathartic, not just for myself, not just for the viewers, but for you guys who are watching this video, watching me do this video now about this. I want to just keep it positive. I don't want to get into this thing where I'm sort of chopping the ladies up, because they're all there to become better, to be better people, to be better women, so I don't think it is beneficial to chop them up necessarily, but I do think she's a bit of an antagonist. um I think most angry people are antagonists to whatever degree. I am acutely aware of the fact that a lot of my aloof behavior causes people to look at me more closely, and that within itself is antagonizing, because I could avoid any um, anger or antagonistic behavior or discourse if I would just include myself to whatever degree. Mm, I just don't. Anyway, um, so fast forward, they all have this, soiree, and they all come down. They're all dressed to the nines. They know they're going to drink, because of the whole Gloria Alana discourse on the first episode. Alcohol was removed from the house. So they're all going to get a drink. And, a drink means put on your makeup and get dressed up. Obviously, they all decide they're going to jump shark. Anyway, so we know as viewers that they're going to meet men. We don't know until the time of the soiree that there's going to be Caucasian women there. So Iyanla talks to the men, the black men there first, and all of these men have made a conscious decision not to date black women. Which I have to say, honestly, the knowledge of that automatically made me look at them a little bit differently. And for me personally, it made me not invest in them. Like at that point, I just didn't want to hear what they had to say. I had zero investment in these men because I'm not somebody you're looking at. I'm certainly not going to compete for you to look at me. So at that point, when I realized I'm not something that you find attractive, something that you're looking for, um, then you automatically become somebody I'm not even thinking about. And let me say this, you know, I've been told that I am a very biting person. Like when I go in, I go in, and I don't ever have to say a curse word. Now I cuss plenty, okay? Let me move this hair so y'all can see the eye. When the eye go down, okay? I cuss plenty. But, usually when I'm telling people off, when I'm going off, like when I'm in that moment of rage, it's not even a curse word said. Like just a real razor sharp person. My tongue is just real sharp. So, um, and one of the number one ways you isolate yourself and you cut people deep is to cut them off. So me having this perspective of these guys where it's like you're not even at the party at this point. Like I would have just been somewhere chit chatting with the girls. I would have never even looked at those men had I known that they wasn't even interested in black women. Like that was their mantra. That's their thing, is that they don't really even mess with black women. Then at that point you're not even in the room to me. This just my perspective. I still have my own healing to do, people. Okay, so let's be okay with that. If I'm just telling you what I would have done moving forward, having this information. So although I listened to them talk, it was just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like it's my job to talk you into liking me or loving me. Like if you don't feel like I have value or worth, that's you, that's not me. And I'm not going to try to convince nobody, whether it's with makeup or tight clothes or whatever. I'm not trying to convince you that I'm the person for you. Like, nah, nada. Forget about it. That's just how I feel. Anyway, they on the show, so they got to go through the whole process. Like, see, my whole attitude is changed right now. I can feel it. Like, it just pisses me off. It upsets me because how do you cut off the woman that was created for you? How do you cut off the people that were created for you? Now, like, I'm not saying you got to marry a black woman and be with a black woman. I feel like you fall in love with who you fall in love with. And if you genuinely fall in love with someone and they're not of your race, cool beans. But for you to say, I'm not going to consciously make a decision that I'm not going to date a black woman, to me, it's like cutting off your sister or cutting off your mama. That's just my opinion. And how do you do that and still consider yourself a part of who we are as a culture? Anyway, they're my own personal anger issues. So, okay, I'm willing to hear it out. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of these men are single. A lot of them gay too. Shout out for gay men, but I love watching Mike B. I like Mike B. He watches a lot of the same shows, but he's expressed some of his own struggles with being a single black male and trying to date and stuff out there. So hopefully one day we can all get together and talk about not only this show but some of the issues that this show has brought out. But I digress. The Jedi, there's a lot of people out there I think that are single and straight, and I don't know what their uh choices are. I think the Jedi, he's pretty pro blacks, but you never know. Um, but I would love to see, since I'm a big YouTube follower, see some of these YouTube guys that are single, broach the subject and talk about it. The guy that does the Meat magazine, I don't know. I don't really know this guy, but he seems a lot very, very angry at black women, and it makes me sad. Anyway, so we get to the party, and the ladies are dressed to the nine, unbeknownst to them and us, of course, that there are four Caucasian women who only date black men there. And um, I don't know, call it editing, but we've saw three times this scene where this white woman is asking a black man why he likes white women. Is it because you like looking into their beautiful eyes while they're giving you head? Like, girl, you don't want that on camera. Even if you are just acting, you don't want that on camera, right? I don't know. Seems odd. Mm, yeah. Anyway, um, there's a guy there. He's got beautiful dreads, beautiful hair. He's a bit celibate. I say a bit because he was grabbing up on one of the twins' butt so hard. It was just like, okay, all right. And Beautiful Soul Speaks kind of talks about this, which is why I was like compelled to go and watch the episode, because at the time I was listening to her live, I couldn't find the second episode, so I thought maybe it hadn't aired yet. But when she was talking about it, I was like, oh no, I gotta find this and watch it. But this is something that she talked about where the guy is saying one thing, but he's doing another. I mean, it's human nature. Um, he may be celibate, but that doesn't mean that he's not, squeezing one out every day. He probably is. Like, how do you not? Like, how are you avoiding that? It's such a huge part of a man's life is ejaculating. So you celibate, but anyway. Um, the more you pull it, the more you want to pull it. I know of which I speak. Okay. Anyway, y'all. You know, and then it brings up the issue about the twin. I think Lita was the twin that he was with, about her, moving too fast. I was super disappointed with her sister chopping her up in front of the other ladies. Like, I'm a big person on loyalty. Like, I don't believe in that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't chop me up with somebody else. You got something you want to say, you say to me. So, and then that's her blood sister too. Like, who do that? Why you? What is you? What I mean? That's not cool, Rita. That's not cool at all. We didn't get to see Gloria. And I don't think we got to see Alana. Um, One of the things that I did want to talk about, it was something I couldn't necessarily relate to, and that was Crystal. Crystal and her relationship with her mom. Like, she hasn't talked to her mom in 4 years because they had this really, really hard relationship. Well, I would like to see what Gloria's perspective is on it, because Gloria has lost her mom tragically. And the ladies all sat around the pool before the outing, before the company came over, and they talked about it, and they all tried to convince her, and she tried to convince them as well as herself that she was cool with the fact that she and her mom didn't talk. But I think the part that I felt bad about was um I just wanted to talk to her. I wanted to talk to her and just let her know that there is no prosperity in life if you don't respect your mom or your dad, if you don't treat your parents with respect and love, even though that they may be wrong. um you still have to respect them, you know. But Iyanla, took her to the whacking room and helped her work through that. And I think at some point her mom is probably going to show up. I mean, it's just, if you ever watch Starting Over, it's inevitable. Her mom's going to show up on the show. Um, I hope next week I can catch Beautiful Soul Speaks live chat. I'm gonna fiddle around with Facebook and see if I can get it to do what I wanted to do. I really am not a Facebook person like that. I think because I got so many friends on there, and as I've said before, I'm a bit of an isolator. So I don't really want my lives. I don't know. I don't know. I had to work it out. I got to figure it out, y'all. I got to figure it out. It's my process, okay? But I would love to be a part of the discussion, and I would love to have the opportunity to talk with Beautiful Soul. I think she has an interesting perspective, and some of the people that were on the YouTube live were commenting. I enjoyed some of their comments, some of the things that they were saying. So I'm excited about maybe sort of linking up with some of those people. Um, you guys, this is a really, really good show, and I encourage you to share it with your sisters and cousins and mom and aunts and uncles, because I think no matter what our age or demographic it is we all share this melanated skin, and I think we can all benefit from sort of watching these women's process as they walk this journey out in discovering why they've been angry, and then um, working on fixing that part of themselves. So really, really quick. So until I see you guys Wednesday, hopefully Thursday, probably, for Queen Sugar. Um, Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. I'm going to continue to do these videos. I'm going to continue editing them, and I hope that I continue getting better at it. Thanks so much for everyone who subscribed because of my Queen Sugar reviews. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos, please. Until next time, you guys.